Have you ever thought about what it would feel like to actually believe in your own enoughness? To actually lean into the power of enoughness? Well, that's what we're going to be talking about today on Boldly Different Conversations with Bree. Welcome to Season 3 of Boldly Different Conversations with Bree. And this season, we're not just recovering from burnout or people-pleasing, but we're rediscovering our lives, and we're giving ourselves permission to change everything. The power of your own enoughness. That's what we're talking about. So there are problems with more and not just being enough or understanding your power of enoughness. The problems with more. And this is the way society kind of is that more is just the way we run things. And the first problem with this is that it's an endless loop, okay? It's an endless loop of acknowledging and the relentless pressure to do more, to be more, and to have more, because it's never enough. Because this is what society is constantly selling us, that we're not enough. We need this product to be enough. We need this product to be more beautiful. We need this product or this thing or this idea that we're selling you in order for you to be at peace, in order for you to do the thing, to be enough, etc. And this is how we become consumers, because we're never leaning into the power of our own enoughness. Instead, we're leaning into dispowering ourselves with more. And society rewards more. But the truth of it is that the more we are trying and the more that we allow that relentless pressure to do more, be more, or have more happens, this is how we get into burnout. Okay? To do more as a mom, to do more as a partner, to do more in our jobs. The power of more, the disempowerment of more is what is actually causing burnout, specifically for women. And this leads us to having an empty tank. And when we have an empty tank, it's like a gas tank. It needs to be refilled. The car is only going to go as far as the gas tank is filled. If you don't put gas in the car, or if you have an electric car, you don't charge the car's not going anywhere. And not being refilled is not sustainable. It's just not sustainable to drive your car until it's really empty. So we need to make sure that we are refilling our tank and that we are allowing ourselves to be less, to be enough, right as we are, where we are, doing what we're already doing. The third problem with more is that there's this fear of not enoughness. You know, we've talked a lot about too muchness, but there's also too muchness really is not enoughness. And so the fear of not being enough is us where we think that if we stop striving in whatever area, whether it's in our partnerships, intimate partnerships, friendships, our parenting, at work, in our business, just even our own mental, emotional growth and health and, good things, right? But if we believe that we stop striving or doing or being everything to everyone, we're going to be seen as lazy. We're going to be seen as inadequate. We're going to be seen as not enough. And I want to validate this feeling because I completely understand this feeling. This is how I got myself into burnout because I felt like I had to do everything for everyone. And honestly, getting on the soapbox just for a second, society has trained women, especially women in my generation, to do this. It's expected of us. And when we don't meet those metrics, we are seen as lazy or inadequate or not enough, especially as moms, especially as women and wives and partners. And so this is a problem, an epidemic in our country and in our society in general, where women are saying, no, we're not going to live that way anymore. And something happens when we hit midlife and we finally say, no, I'm not going to do that anymore. And the whole world goes, what? You're not going to be everything to me anymore? And then they don't know what to do. They don't know how to live. They don't know how to continue on because we've been doing all the things all the time. And those are the people I primarily work with in my coaching business. If that is you, if you can identify with that, go ahead and go to my website and schedule a free complimentary clarity call with me. And let's see if I can help you to find your community and find your pace and find yourself so that you're no longer a part of that system, a part of that problem. so that you can live your life. You can live as your favorite self. That's what I help women do. And I'd love to help you if that's you. So validating that. But here's the thing. How then do we define that we are enough, that we have enoughness, and that enoughness is okay and good and should be celebrated in some ways? How do we define what enough is? And I think being enough or doing enough, just enough in general, we define our enough as it's a feeling. Enoughness is a feeling. It's not a number. It's not quantitative. It's not something that we can count, that we can measure necessarily. It's a feeling. And enoughness is a shift from a focus of being quantifiable, a quantifiable metric, into the feeling of wholeness and the feeling of contentment and the feeling of being good and okay and being in joy. So I'm going to ask you again. I asked this in the beginning. What would it feel like to have or be enough? What would that feel like? It would feel whole. It would feel good. It would feel at peace, right? How would that feel for you? There are 3 areas of enough and enoughness that we need to focus on, especially women in midlife. These are the 3 areas. Enoughness in work. So here's a question for you. What does a healthy, productive week look like for you without sacrificing your well-being? That's how you know you're hitting enough at work. Number 2, are you getting enough rest? Enough rest. There needs to be enough rest. How much rest do you actually need to feel recharged? Is it a nap? Is it a day off? Is it a vacation? All 3 are fine. All 3 are good. Did you know, specifically women, that women need more sleep than men? The average man gets 7.5 hours of sleep, and the average woman only gets 7. Yet women need more sleep than men do. And what affects this? What is affecting this where men are actually getting more sleep, even though they don't need as much sleep? For women, we have a lot of things that destroy our sleep. Hormones is a big one. Hormones is a really big one. And if your hormones get dysregulated, then your sleep absolutely is going to get dysregulated. And there's lots of products out there to use, and lots of things we can do to help regulate our hormones naturally, holistically, and then also medically as well. Mental health. Women's mental health gets destroyed by all the things and being all the things to everyone, right? And then I think women also are at a higher risk for sleeping disorders because of hormonal issues, because of mental health, and because of the mental and emotional load that most women are carrying through child rearing, through their careers, through taking care of the home. All of these things have been placed on us from society, and we have to do everything well and do it to the best of our ability because we're everything to everyone. And so oftentimes women will have more sleeping disorders than men do because of their hormones and because of the mental health and just because. Yet we need more sleep than men biologically. Studies have actually shown this, that women need more sleep than men. So are you getting enough rest? Do you actually know what it is you need to feel recharged? Women, do you know? And then the third thing of enoughness is, are you enough in yourself? Are you taking care of yourself? What do you need to feel seen, to feel valued, to feel fulfilled outside of your roles? Outside of being a mom, outside of being the career woman, the business owner, the partner, even the friend. What is it that you need outside your roles to feel seen, valued, and fulfilled? This is actual self-care, okay? Going and get your nails done, awesome. Going in spa days, amazing. Taking a bath at night, fantastic. Eating the chocolate and having a shopping spree on Amazon, lovely. All self-care. But the real true crux of self-care and caring for yourself and being enough for yourself is asking yourself and then meeting the needs that you have to feel seen, valued, and fulfilled in your life outside your roles. Okay, what is it you need? Those are the 3 things that help us live enoughness. And on a scale of 1 to 10, let me ask you now, on a scale of 1 to 10, in this self-assessment, How full is your tank in each of these areas? In the area of rest, in the area of, your taking care of yourself, and in the area of your work. Okay. Where are you? What scale are you at on 1 to 10? If you're not above, like, I would say a 7, you got some work to do. I'd love to work with you. I'd love to help you. I have some emotional healing journals that can help. I'd love to have you a part of my coaching program. There's lots of opportunities out there that I would love to help you with if you will let me. You can go to my website and find out all the details there for any of these opportunities. But then I think a big part of enoughness that we have to realize is we have to set boundaries for ourselves. Okay. So what boundaries are you setting to protect enough, to protect your enoughness? And boundaries, we have to remember, are a shield. They are not a weapon. Boundaries are not a weapon. It's not something you're doing to someone. The boundary you set is a shield that you're placing around yourself that protects you. And to protect your peace and your energy is not pushing people away. Okay. This is actually an act of self-care that if someone can't take your no, or someone can't take a change that you need to place as a boundary to help yourself, to keep yourself healthy and well, then that is on that person. That is on that person. That is not you. We're done trying to fix everyone. We're done wearing every hat, trying to take on everybody's everything to be everything to everyone, right? We're not doing that anymore. We're not doing that anymore. So what are some examples? Because we've talked about enoughness with work and rest. So what does this look like? I want to give you guys a couple examples. So the first example I want to give you is like a work example of this is what we say. This is a boundary. This is a healthy boundary. Something we say to our work, right? Is that, I've reached my capacity for today, but I'm happy to revisit that tomorrow. Good, healthy boundary. And if your boss can't take that, that's on him. You're doing your job. Everybody has a capacity. You're not saying no. You're just saying no to right now, right? And that's okay. That's okay. That is a good, healthy boundary. What does it look like with our family and our friends? So I appreciate the invitation, but I need to take time for myself on that day. That's okay to say. That's good and healthy. It's okay. You don't have to do everything your mom asks you to do. You don't have to do everything that your partner wants and asks for you to do. You don't have to do everything for your kids. You know what? No, I can't. I'm sorry. I can't go to your baseball game that day. Mom needs some rest. And mom's rest is very important so I can love you and I can take to your baseball game on Monday. So boundaries are good and healthy with our family and with our friends. And I think the last area, a good boundary example would be is the boundary on guilt. Because when we start enacting these boundaries, we end up feeling guilty for saying no, right? At least that has been my experience. And so we're going to put a boundary around guilt. And this is an example of this would be acknowledging and being aware of this feels really uncomfortable to say no to this and not be a part of this and not do the thing, not go to my kid's baseball game this weekend. We know this and we're going to validate this, but we know that this is what we need. And that's okay. So that's how we put a boundary on guilt and we don't allow guilt to rule us. So maybe you're saying to yourself, I don't even know where to start with any of this. Start small. Celebrate one small victory at a time, one small no at a time. And the power of living in your enoughness, the power that you actually gain from this is that it's going to have a ripple effect. Okay. When we operate from enough, when we operate from that place of, I am worthy of having limits and boundaries and this being okay to be enough and that I don't have to go above and beyond on every single thing in my life, we become more present to our actual lives. We become more aware, we become more creative, we become more joyful, and it benefits both us, right? And anyone that's connected to us, right? So there's a ripple effect because when we are with our kids, when we're holding boundaries, we're teaching our kids that boundaries are good and healthy and okay. And when we are allowing the ripple effect to happen, we're putting other people, empowering others to step into roles that we may have taken on to show and prove our enoughness, when really our enoughness is not us having to prove anything, and allow someone else to step in and be their own enough. And the value is within us, okay? So it's not something that's necessarily always external. Worth is not tied by our output. This teaches us that our worth is more than just what someone else, what a human says about us, or an organization says about us, or what a habit says about us. Our value becomes interesting. Can't say that word today. And then the last piece that I want to mention to you guys is that our value is really inherent, and complete, just as you are. Enoughness in the actual moment of right now, as you are right now. And enough then becomes our new standard for what is going to be a very bold and sustainable life. It helps us have that bold, sustainable, pleasurable, lovely, present life. So here's my challenge for you today. Challenge question is, what is one thing that you need to say no to this week to create more space for enough? This week, what do you need to take off the list? All right. Have a great day. Thank you for watching this episode of Boldly Driven Conversations with Bree. Remember, your life is waiting for you. The time to start living it is now. Then subscribe now, and let's start your next chapter together.